relevant insights development. The Pentagon explains the purpose is for senior officials and decision makers in the defense policy community to form a contingency plan for the event of wide-scale civil unrest, close quote. And that's admitted in the Washington Post and the New York Times and Forbes and Army Times and Stars and Stripes. And then we just go, oh, look. They're having a big, giant drill. We should investigate it. And the mainstream media acts like none of this exists. That's how crazy it is. Meanwhile, Obama, we're going to cover this, has come out, and the London Guardian has the story, and is claiming that he's going to ban the M16s and the armored vehicles and the helicopters and all the rest of them from being given to local police, when it's the feds that have been doing that all along, and it is accelerated, expanded, ballooned under his tutelage. And I predict, it's not hard to predict, it's very nebulous what he says, that this is all smoke and mirrors and the opposite will be done. Obama to ban military gear that can alienate and intimidate. The recently revealed documents add that the purpose is further to inform policy implemented by combatant commandos and commands. This all started back in 2008 when the global banking crisis formed the impetus for DOD and the Minerva Research Institute. The DOD then decided to partner with universities in order to improve DOD's basic understanding of the social, cultural, behavioral, and political forces that shape regions of the world of strategic importance to the U.S. And that's that mastering the human domain, including domestically in the U.S. A special forces unit based in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, is conducting joint exercises with local police forces in the surrounding area of Columbia, South Carolina. The exercises, which involve the 3rd Special Forces Group and the Richmond County Sheriff's Department SWAT team, will be taking place and are currently taking place. So it's just ongoing. And the Pentagon comes out and makes the announcement. Out of one side of their mouth, but out of the other side says that we're basically making it up. Do I need to play sheriff's departments in Indiana and Washington State and in New York saying the MRAPs are for veterans and gun owners because there's a coming war with us? What do you have planned so horrible it's going to start a civil war?
Didn't have the violence that we see today. The weaponry is totally different now than it was in the beginning of my career. Plus, you have a lot of people that are coming out of the military that have the ability and the knowledge to build IEDs and to defeat law enforcement techniques.
That's Indiana.
Can I do something about it?
This is California. The riot police, the military, the army. They attack when he says he's a sovereign citizen.
I'm a sovereign citizen. I refuse to recognize you guys.
That's the cue for the attack to be launched. So this is what's going on everywhere. The Southern Poverty Law Center and ADL basically quarterback it, and they don't want us to have a national debate about it. Well, we're going to have the debate about what you're building, so that as you unveil it, people know that it was premeditated and you didn't just launch a total military takeover overnight, that it was pre-planned, pre-positioned, prepared, that the military was tested to see who would follow orders. And then there's the bigger question, again, why is there this big buildup? And why are they saying gun owners and veterans are going to be attacking police? And some will say, oh, well, that cop, that SWAT team commander in Indiana, talked about violence is worse today. No, gun violence is down 50+%, 60 according to Professor Lott. But the way I crunched the numbers, the Justice Department is 51. And yeah, you saw the big shootout up in Waco, 9 people killed. That's what gangs have always done. Gangs have always killed each other. Back in the days of Al Capone, there were sometimes 15 people killed a week in Chicago. It's nothing new. In fact, actual gang violence is down in the U.S. We'll be back. On scene in Ferguson, on scene on the South Texas border, where the Border Patrol told us to come meet them secretly and to document the fact that they're told to load illegals on buses and give them voucher cards to be bused anywhere they wish in the country, to Democratic Party offices to be set up and given voter ID cards, driver's license, you name it. And we'll have our reporters at Bilderberg 2015 as well. I haven't decided if I'm going to be going yet, but Paul Watson's going to be there. Josh Owens is going to be there. I may send some other reporters, but it comes down to funding. We're going to be talking to our reporters who are in Cleveland, where the verdict could be any minute now. They were saying it'd be yesterday, the National Guard standing by in the case of police officers charged with the shooting of 2 unarmed black men that killed them. Before we go to them, I wanted to play a clip from Obama to ban police military gear that can alienate and intimidate. And see, this is the beginning of the globalization, the federalization of the police. I'm going to break that down in just a moment. In fact, we're going to cue up the Al Sharpton clip here in just a second after we play the Obama clip. But first off, we are able to have the reporters, have the writers, have the nightly news, have the daily radio show, have the news websites, and run this whole operation and defeat external and internal attacks, you name it, because of your support, your prayers, and you spreading the word about the broadcast. And the fact that you do buy the high-quality Patriot apparel, the high-quality water filtration systems, the high-quality non-GMO heirloom seeds, the high-quality shortwave radios, the high-quality cook stoves, the high-quality storable foods, the high-quality products at InfoWarsStore.com is the reason we're able to fund this operation. We also have sponsors who make the broadcast possible, but most of those are the network sponsors. If I only operated on sponsorship, I could have about 15 employees. I've got about 50 right now. And I want to be able to get 1 or 2 more camera people, and I want to get 1 or 2 more reporters/news anchors, and 1 or 2 more print writers, researchers, investigative journalists. We need that. We're short-staffed. I am set in the next few months to launch us, and it's now a set date, I'm going to announce it later, on satellite and the type that'll go to cable and TV. We have a big list of stations ready to turn us on, some that already download the show every day and play it. It's very exciting. That's all lined up. Studios are done. Everything else is cemented. But the fuel, this media operation is like a American-made 707 horsepower Dodge Hellcat. It's pure muscle. It's ready to take on the globalist. We're ready to be put on the field at the next level. I'm ready for the gate to open and go out against gladiators twice the size we fought so far. We're ready. But you've got to open the gate. You've got to get on the chains and open it. You open that gate, I will stomp directly out to the middle of that arena and I will face them with my reporters and my crew. We're ready. Open the gate. Let me out there in the ring. I'm ready. That's why they're coming after us. That's why they're pulling dirty tricks. They know we're reaching 20 million people a week globally. But only, according to the Google Analytics and other systems we can cross-reference, only 8 million of those are in CONUS. 8 million are in the lower 48. Now, that's still a large number, but I want to reach 50 million domestically. I want to go down in history like my forebears, changing the world for the better. I want to be hardcore. Clinton hides from reporters. Security forces race across Iowa 95 miles an hour to dodge pursuing journalists. Worst day of campaign. 3 to 5 business days response time for media requests. Video, Clinton shuts down reporter trying to ask question. New York Times, Hillary circulated Sid Blumenthal intelligence memos. Paid by Foundation Media Matters. Well, yeah, that's the White House, who attacks us every week, sometimes every day. Roll blurs lines of politics and business. House committee may subpoena. Video, voters love her no matter what. New Mark Dice video. Update, judge orders rolling release of Clinton State Department emails. Dems panic. Draft Biden gets serious. You've got the establishment trying to force feed us this bumbling, lying female Brian Williams. But she's made her bones, unlike Brian Williams. Brian Williams claims he's this commando. Hillary's actually run, murder squads. I mean, she's actually had a lot of people killed. Her and Clinton, presided over that. Had her boyfriend Vince whacked. She's got more girlfriends than Al Capone did. I mean, she's a monster. And let me tell you, she gets in office, where you think Obama's been bad, and imagine, oh, don't talk bad about women. You're just against women because you don't like Hillary. I'd vote for a woman in 1 second. I'd vote for a black man in 1 second. I care less what color you are or what's between your legs, as long as in your heart you love freedom and in your brain you understand what's happening in this world. But you wonder why every movie now is about how men are inherently bad and how great feminists are, and how, the new Mad Max, all the men are killed at the end and a utopia is created. That's called the end of humanity. This is sick, and it's all to grease the skids for Hillary. The establishment is behind her as they try to force feed us rotten vomit that she's spewed up. All the crimes she's committed, all the abortions she's pushed, all the souls in her rotten gut, she vomits it up. We're supposed to just beg her like it's manna from heaven. But here's the good news. People are waking up. Under Obama, we've seen the MRAPs and the machine. I don't care if the cops have fully auto or in big cities they have armored vehicles, because you may need them sometimes. What I don't like is that they're directed against the veterans and gun owners. But notice now under 7277, we told you this was coming in my film Police State 2000, made in '99. That they would then foment civil war with the police after they set them up, had them do things like asset forfeiture, seizure, and things the feds taught them how to do, to demonize them. Then they bring in federalism and globalism and disarm the police. Obama to ban police military gear that can alienate and intimidate. Here's the clip. Then we're going to Cleveland to talk to Jakari Jackson and Joe Biggs, where we're waiting for another verdict. Oh, by the way, they're protesting. There's photos online in Ferguson at the different George Soros compounds demanding their pay, claiming they didn't get paid their next paycheck for demonstrating. I guess $33 million was all Soros spent. They wanted more. So now they're demonstrating outside the different Soros Justice Department front groups. I mean, just talk about AstroTurf. This is it. The opposite of grassroots. Let's go to this Obama clip. Here it is.
Today we're also releasing new policies on the military-style equipment that the federal government has in the past provided to state and local law enforcement agencies. We've seen how militarized gear can sometimes give people a feeling like there's an occupying force as opposed to a force that's part of the community that's protecting them and serving them. Can alienate and intimidate local residents and send the wrong message. So we're going to prohibit some equipment made for the battlefield that is not appropriate for local police departments. There's other equipment that may be needed in certain cases, but only with proper training.
Let's stop right there.
So we're going to ensure...
So they're going to give them all the armored vehicles and everything, but they've got to be federalized. Just like Al Sharpton said. Do we have that Al Sharpton clip? Remember, and we told you that's what all of this was about. Obama to ban police military gear that can alienate and intimidate, but then you hear what he says, oh no, we're still going to give it to you. You've just got to be federal. And then they'll use it a lot nicer. Let's go ahead and go to that clip.
We've been fighting them all over the country, which is why we're going to do this march from here to Washington. We need the Justice Department to step in and take over policing in this country. In the 20th century, they had to fight states' rights, and to get the right to vote, we got to fight states' rights in terms of closing down police cases. Police must be held accountable. I don't think all police are bad. I don't even think most are bad. But those that are need to be held accountable.
And by federalizing them, we'll all be safe. Now we go to Cleveland, Ohio, where Jakari Jackson is reporting. He's been talking to folks about the federalization. Do they think it's a good idea? He's been watching the demonstrations, the streets getting blocked. Jakari, update us on what you've seen so far and tell us about this case and why folks are so upset and what you're expecting to see happening after you've stuck your toe in the water and measured the climate out there.
Jakari Jackson reporting live from Cleveland, Ohio. We're right outside the Justice Department. They had a I guess you would call it a demonstration yesterday. Nothing